eventually. There we go. Okay. Why you should oppose stricter gun control laws. January 8th, 2011, Tucson, Arizona. Representative Gabrielle Giffords and 18 other people were violently shot, 6 of them fatally wounded. January 23rd, 2011, Lincoln City, Oregon. A police officer is shot during a routine traffic stop. The search for the shooter is still underway. January 30th, 2011, Oregon City, Oregon. 12-year-old boy is shot in the face by an unmindful friend who is trying to scare him with a 12-gauge shotgun that he did not know was loaded. What's next? You may be thinking, this is getting out of hand. Why all these things happening with guns? Why all this crime? Why all these accidents? For some of you, the natural response would be to regulate guns, take them away. Okay, but I say that this is not the case. I am a second-degree black belt instructor in Kim's Taekwondo of Portland, and I'm an avid student in self-defense. My mentor in Taekwondo is a 6th-degree black belt who happens to be a cop. So what is this speech to you? My first example included, among the killed, a 9-year-old girl. Anyone can fall prey to a shooter. Some of you have children. Our last example occurred here in Oregon City. Today I will explain the real problem behind these gun-related crimes and these accidents, and I will try to propose a solution to this problem. So the first problem is our present culture glorifies violence. Take one look at the video games, movies, and books, and you'll see the evidence for this statement. First, exposure to violent video games. According to the Harvard Mental Health Newsletter, some children are more susceptible to being aggressive after playing violent video games. The researchers concluded that there are 3 types of personality traits that can lead to greater aggression after playing violent video games. The first, I got ahead of my slides here. There we go. The first is high neuroticism. These people are prone to anger and they are easily upset. Next is disagreeableness. These people are cold and indifferent to those around them. And third, low levels of conscientiousness. These people are prone to acting without thinking, failing to fulfill on promises, and also breaking rules. The second problem is black market sales of guns. Currently, in order to get a handgun, a person is required to go through a background check if they're buying it through a federal dealer. However, there is no such restriction. There is no such restriction on private sales. So what some people do is they will go out and they will buy guns from federal dealers because they can pass the background checks, and then they will sell them for higher price and make profit off of selling them to criminals who cannot pass these background checks. Also, gun restrictions are not always effective. In Australia, they began strict gun control and strict regulation and restriction of guns. The gun-related homicides and suicides did drop by 37% and 35% respectively. However, they were offset by a climb in suicide by hanging and suicide by car exhaust, which increased by 143% and 114% respectively. This stated in an article by Christy Lewis E. in 1999. Homicidal stabbings also increased by 66%. Obviously, it didn't work out very well. Okay, now my solutions. The first solution is training. Let's look at Switzerland, for example. In Switzerland, all males are required at age 20 to enter basic training in the military. After completing basic training, they take their fully automatic assault rifle home with them, as well as 50 rounds of ammunition. They are required to keep it locked up in their house and to go periodically to shooting ranges for training. They are part of the Swiss militia. Switzerland has almost no standing army. Their defense relies entirely on these people with the guns at home. And once they retire from the militia, they are allowed to keep the gun, but they have to take it in and get the fully automatic function removed, making it a semi-automatic or auto-loading weapon. From age 12, both boys and girls are also encouraged to compete in Schützenfest, which is shooting festival in German. Swiss are very accurate. Okay, I propose, Switzerland's intentional homicide rate in 2009 was 0.9 homicides per 100,000 citizens. Last I checked, 0.9 was pretty low. Compared to the United States in 2009, which was at 4.2 homicides per 100,000 citizens. I recommend that we train our youth in the use and dangers of guns, teach them when their use is warranted, and how to use them safely without harming others when they do use them. In Hunter's Ed, they told me that the best safety for a gun is a trained shooter. Training will help reduce our problems. And also keep arms readily available. Our current method of selling arms is good. I like it. Continue to use background checks, but oppose further restrictions on guns. Remember what happened in Australia. In review, I explained the problem in our society with guns, and I outlined 2 solutions to this problem. But what can you do? You can vote for politicians who have been approved by the NRA, and also vote against bills that would further restrict the sale and carry of firearms. Remember that an armed society is a polite society, and a society that is armed to the teeth is less likely to be invaded than a society in which the citizens are vulnerable and helpless. This is good. This is not good. Thank you for listening.